Hi, I'm Mónica García, President of the LAUSD Board of Education. Welcome to Families Matter. Joining me today are my co-hosts, Maria Casillas, the Chief of School and Family Parent Community Services, and Board Member Nuri Martinez. Our goal is to provide information so families can help their children graduate and stay safe in school. Today's topic focuses on getting ready for college and how parents can help their students prepare for higher education. Joining us shortly will be Adolfo Mata, the Early Assessment Program Coordinator at Cal State University, LA, and Nina Aknihotri, counselor at Monroe High School. But first, a chance for us to talk about the latest regarding LAUSD and families. So ladies, what's new and exciting?
Well, I think the most important thing, very exciting for so many people here in Los Angeles, is the deferred action strategy that we're seeing implemented across Los Angeles. And I think, Nudi, you can probably tell us a little bit more about that.
We had a deferred action event this past weekend, and I want to say we had over 500 people show up. It was at Panorama High School, and we partnered with the San Fernando Valley Dream Team, which are a fabulous group of young people that we're working with, and the Panorama City Neighborhood Council. And so we hosted this event in the morning. Families of all walks of life were there. Everything was so orderly and organized. You had UCLA law students that were volunteering to help families and students with the application, and countless other attorneys that are just volunteering their time and services to do this. We actually want to hit every community in the San Fernando Valley, so they've asked us to host an event once a month.
Wonderful.
And so I think it's great. The convention center also had a great event this past weekend. I think it was 2,000 people that showed up there.
2,000 people
That's
coming
amazing.
to talk and learn about the application process. And
But we might want to review, just for those that weren't with us before when we talked about it, what is exactly the deferred action? What does it provide for our families, and why it's so important? Do you want to tell us, Monica?
Sure. So like Nuri said, our Dream Team LA and our friends at Cheer Law, our dreamers, have been asking for the DREAM Act. What President Obama did on June 15th that led to this August 15th kickoff is for students over 16 who have been in our schools for more than 5 years and are on their road to diploma, they can apply for deferred action. So it would be an opportunity to stay any deportation or an opportunity to get a permit to avoid the deportation. It's good for 2 years.
It's good for our kids and it's good for our families. So
stay tuned. I believe we're also going to be advertising further deferred action days in the coming months. So workshops. So stay tuned to our LAUSD website, and of course our websites will print any event information that we have.
Yes, and the biggest thing our families need to know, if you are a student who needs your transcript, your date of enrollment, or proof of graduation, go to our website. We have DACA requests at lausd.net. And you can get information. Right. I think it's DACArequests.lausd.net.
Yes, but if you go just to lausd.net, you will see right in the homepage deferred action. So we're very, very active in helping our families right now. And that's very good for us and very good for our families. And one other thing that's going to be a wonderful, wonderful activity for our students and our families is the I'm In campaign.
Yes.
Because I'm In makes me be very active in my education as a student, and to reward students and to motivate them and their families to become really very actively engaged in their education and getting their kids to school on time every day for every single class during the day. The district has partnered with many outstanding corporations and businesses to provide tons of gifts for our kids and for our families. And in the case of the high school students, if they attend every single day between the day that we kick off, which is October 1st, and the end of the campaign sometime in May, they will be eligible for a drawing which will bring them a brand new car. So I said, well, how can I? I mean, I come to school every day ready to learn.
And also schools, right? Schools that also show an improvement in attendance or have perfect attendance and have all their kids show up on time every single day. The school community also is in the running for some amazing prizes to amusement parks, movie theaters,
Wonderful.
iPads, concerts.
So
that's
just a
really
ton
cool.
of
So
stuff.
the I'm in campaign is basically an attendance challenge
Yes.
for all of our students and staff. That's wonderful.
And we want to thank all our partners for doing that. This is great. It takes a village, and this is really one good example of
That's right.
I'm in the village and I'm contributing to my future. So that's great.
Absolutely.
And a deadline that is upon us is the importance of voting in this country is so powerful, and October 22nd is the deadline to register to vote for the November election.
Yes.
And I just wanted to remind our viewers of the importance and the power of voting in this country, and the things that are at stake in this country if we don't participate
Correct.
are very, very important. So let's remember October 22nd is our voter registration deadline, and we have to make sure that if we're 18 years or older and citizens in the United States, we have that right to vote. So let's use it.
That's right. So remembering we're going to elect a president, but also in California, there is a great impact to education for Prop 30 and Prop 38.
That's right.
And we just want to ask every voter to get informed on Prop 30 and Prop 38 and the impact that will have to our schools. So we're going to be back. We're going to talk about college, and we'll be able to share a little bit ourselves of, I know I loved it at Cal, and I loved it at USC. And Nuri, where'd you go?
Cal State Northridge.
Cal State Northridge, and
I went to the University of Texas.
And Texas.
I'm
so
a
we'll be
Texan.
right back with our guests, Adolfo Mata and Nina Aknihotri, to discuss getting ready for college.
The fraction was an announcement made by the president back in June 15 of 2012, and the fraction is a work permit for 2 years and also a stop from deportation for 2 years, and they can renew it as long as the administration keeps on renewing it. And those who qualified are if they came to the U.S. before the age of 16, if they've been here from June 15th, 2007 to June 15th, 2012, and they're under the age of 31. And we're here offering the free legal clinic to those who qualify for deferred action, and we're going through that application on an individual basis, and we have attorneys here on site so they can answer those questions for the people here. There are other free services, not just this one, and so we want to extend this to the whole community so they won't have to pay extra money for an application that should be free. We're working with board member Nuri Martinez and the Panorama City Neighborhood Council, and we'll keep you updated, on the San Fernando Valley Dream Team page, and I will keep in contact with the board member and LAUSD so they can post up those dates for the people.
Hi, I'm Mónica García, School Board President, and we are so excited to make sure that you're ready for college. We want you to graduate career ready and college prepared, and you'll come to a place like this and be the best you can be. So talk to your teachers and counselors, get the information you need. We believe in you, you're going to make it. Welcome back to Families Matter. Joining us now are Adolfo Mata, the Early Assessment Program Coordinator for the California State University, Los Angeles, and Nina Aknihotri, a college counselor at Monroe High School. Welcome.
Thank you for having us here.
We all love our stories, our personal stories about college, because the world opened up, mom and dad or tia and tío were right. It was where we needed to be. What do you hear from families today?
Well, the main thing that I hear from families right now is financial difficulty getting their children to the universities. But it starts now. It starts at 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade.
Or kindergarten.
Or kindergarten, yes. And must start now and preparing them and talking to their children. Also educating the parents. I believe educating the parents is critical to the success of the children as they go through their high school career. And of course, taking the proper steps when they're juniors and seniors. A lot of students wait till the last day. wait till they're seniors. You can't do that anymore. There's too much competition out there. So we must prepare them as ninth graders. As they come into our high schools, we must, I know we're short on counselors, but as parents, we have to have the conversation, where are you going to college? Not if you're going to college, where are you going to college? And make that San Francisco trip and make the San Diego trip to those universities. I think that's vital, so the student knows what's out there.
Yes.
So really the preparation for college begins in your home.
Absolutely.
And the best counselor really is the parent. And the best group to support the student is the entire family. But college knowledge is really something that our parents, our families lack. And so that, I think, is where the schools come in. Also in just having, you know, really good teachers, really high standards, making sure the kids get their A through G courses, etc. But understanding and navigating the college knowledge process and that whole framework is really challenging. It was challenging for me, so I'm sure it is challenging for others as well.
And the college office is a great resource for parents to begin with, and one of the things that we're doing at Monroe High School is running parent workshops, monthly workshops during the day and during the night in English and Spanish, so they can ask the questions that they want to ask about what colleges can I apply to, can my child get financial assistance or not, what does A through G mean? We break it down, financial 101. What does it mean when my child goes off to school, you know, in another state or in another city? How do I prepare myself for that? So we're trying to start this new thing here at Monroe High School to get these students prepared and their parents to be part of that process.
And so you're saying that folks talking to each other, learning about the process is what is most helpful.
It is, because it does seem as a very complicated process, and it's difficult to navigate through the college process, and we want to make it very simple for the students. And sometimes it might mean doing one page of that application, one step at a time, because with my students I know, and I work at a 80% or more Title I school-wide low socioeconomic background, and with students there, you know, if it's too difficult, they might give up. So you have to help them every step of the way.
And these are first generation college-going kids. I mean, a lot of the kids in our schools don't have a father and a mother who went to college, who got a PhD, who went to law school, who sort of navigated that. So while we're very pleased that so many of our families do know how to help their children because they're highly professional themselves, this is a generation that we want to cultivate, especially in very, you know, detailed ways. So I think the role of the universities working with the high schools, working with the middle schools, working with the elementary and the preschools, because college begins in kindergarten.
If I can just take us just a couple of steps back, because the notion that college begins in pre-K, I think is very, very true. But I also think that there is a lot of more of parent education that we need to do in terms of how the education system works in this country, especially in our district. And I say this to my parents when I get to speak to them is, you know, our parents trust that their children are just being, they send them to school every day and they trust that there's a capable person there teaching them, right? But they have no idea in terms of how our system works, let alone the required classes that they need to take to be able to apply to a four-year university. I'm talking about the A through G requirements. So I think there's a lot of other education that needs to take place besides them understanding and knowing how to get their children access into college. They also need to understand how our system works, how we could empower them, and how they can empower their children as a result to ensure that they're always talking to their kids about college. But we have a lot of work to do in terms of a district. How does our system work, and how do they better prepare their kids to enter a four-year university?
Absolutely. What I find is a lot of the parents, they prepare them, but once they're ready to graduate from their high school, they do everything to keep them at home. We should let them fly, and we should let them go to, you know, back east to Brown, Columbia, you know, up to Stanford. Some of these.
So you're saying sometimes parents want their children to be safe or want to be able to know that they're okay, And sometimes we think the best strategy is stay close to home.
Right.
But we have to think about maybe it is better for Monica to go an hour away by plane.
Right. And they try to bribe you with a car, or you know, you have roof, you have food on the table.
Well,
let's stay here.
Very practical, right?
Yeah,
But
quite practical.
I think it's what Nudi has mentioned, that our homework as a school district is to start very early.
Yes.
I mean, and that's our challenge, so that when parents have the opportunity to send their kids to preschool, or even when they enter kindergarten, to understand that the reason why their children are there to master those standards at that particular level is because they're preparing for college.
The preparation to
is
graduation.
that they're preparing for college. I mean, that's why our kids are going to school. They're not really just going to school so that they can learn and enjoy their friends and whatever. All of that will take place too. But the purpose, the real purpose, the goal is that at every moment, at every grade level, we are getting your children ready for college. And if we think that way, we change our own culture in our homes. You know, we have higher expectations. We drill on a different set of conversations, if you will, at the table. All of that is just really important.
Absolutely. And the district as a whole has already aligned many of the standards and the requirements, the course requirements for the A through G, and with Algebra 2 coming along as well. We are now going to be placing these students in these classes that are going to prepare them to enter a 4-year. The resources at the school have diminished a bit. Of course, the budget cuts and
$2.7 billion over
Definitely.
5 years, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes.
But at that point, that's when I and many of my colleagues, college counselors, have brought in resources like Mr. Mata, many college outreach personnel, representatives from Wellesley or Smith or Brown, coming to our schools, talking to the students directly, talking to the parents directly, and saying, this is what you need to do to get to our school. And starting in 9th grade, taking them on field trips. And wherever the school is not able to provide, I'm trying to find free services like Cash for College, which is, by the way, next week, and the Cal State convention that we have at the Pasadena Convention Center.
Give Cash for College a little commercial.
Definitely, Cash for College. Parents, you need to be there October 3rd. Our kids are going on the 2nd and the 3rd. They've provided buses. It's a great place for you to find out what's available, how your child can actually make it to college and pay for it. There are lots of ways. We, as a district, also have college fairs, and a district ESC 1 has our college fair on October 13th, LA Valley College. And so definitely be there. There's lots of great things. And again, the Pasadena Convention Center, I'm taking kids with me on Saturday. And so they're going to get to meet with these specific reps and get information for these colleges.
So what do you do when a student comes? I've had this happen to me once or twice. So there's a family that's interested in making sure that their son goes to college. And it comes a time that they're seniors, right? They're midway through their high school senior year, and they're missing 1 or 2 classes. And so, you know, it's devastating because, one, the family was not aware of the college requirements that they needed to have started working on since the 9th grade. And so now you have a situation where they're that close, but they just don't have the necessary requirements to get into a 4 university. What is a college counselor like you are able to help the family? I mean, what do you do in that circumstances? Is a community college an option for that student, or what do we do?
That's definitely something that has happened many times. And also the other part of that is they might have a D or 2, and because of that, they can't go to a 4-year. And because we have cuts in adult school, the kids have nowhere to go to make up those classes. So at that point, yes, I do have reps coming from community colleges for our area. It's Pierce College, Valley College, Mission College, and I have binders for them. The students come in, they sign in, the reps come in, and I've worked with them to try to make sure that we have a rep coming from them almost every week. And even with budget cuts there, they always, you know, I'm the one always on the phone calling and emailing and saying, please, we really need you here. And so finding a way through community college and being able to transfer And it's very important that parents know that they need to get those kids into school right away, because if they start working, they might not go back because they'll start racking up those bills. And so we really need to get them right into college.
I'm going to add a little to that. In the past, 5-10 years ago, when the budget crisis had not hit us, there was students that would take summer courses that would make up some of those. That's no longer the case.
That's right.
A lot of the universities will not take summer courses anymore. So that means that the student needs to find alternative choices. And that's where we come as counselors and as advisors at the universities and let them know that don't stop now. You need to go forward. Otherwise, you get stuck in a job, and then to come back, it's very difficult.
Right. And you know, we want to remind parents that the research clearly indicates that the parents' ambition and desire and dream for their children is a very powerful motivator. So even when you don't have all of these resources that they can tap into, where there's a will, there's a way. And we know that. You know, we've heard of many, many families that as poor as they might be, as much as they lack a formal education, they tap into their very strong family assets, the love they have for their children, the big dream that they have for their going to college and doing something with their lives better than we have ourselves, because that's what a parent does. A parent wants their children to be someone better than they were able to achieve. Right. And the economy now is just so challenging for our parents that they might lose track of that. So we want our parents to remember that their love, their intuition about this child can succeed and can go on, and just keeping them going, keeping them on that pathway, seeking the resources that Monroe High School has, for example. Right. And then both of you working in partnership, that's really going to make a huge difference to our families.
Absolutely.
Huge difference.
So both of you have said you have to start early. And what that means is, what we're saying out loud is building the habits, right? Focused on the values, focused on the habits, learning to get to school on time, get to school every day, focused on the homework, getting the skills necessary so that when you get to 9th grade, you're ready to go. And then really tapping into, or asking a lot of questions, asking people. Every teacher has gone to college. I know my parents didn't go to college, but they absolutely wanted to make sure that I was exposed to those opportunities. And when I got to Cal, it was super difficult because I didn't know a whole lot of people who had gone that road. But you know, I remember the student clubs and all the people there to help.
And good mentors. That's key.
Yes, that's
good mentors.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But you know, the other thing, and we forget this because there's a lot of data that show what the benefits of a college education are compared to, you know, what happens if you drop out of school.
Right. Right.
What kind of a job and what kind of a life will you provide for yourself and then your own family?
Absolutely.
But if you get a high school degree, okay, so how much more comes in, right?
Right.
And if you get a college degree, and even beyond college, you know, postgraduate work,
At least $100,000 more.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So a child who can think of a life that is much better, much bigger than what I see, can actually have that if they go to college.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, you talk about a habit, but we have to have an appetite. You need to have a little appetite first for, you know, wanting to go to college.
Right.
And then you start building those habits that will, you know, help you with your plan to go to college.
Another thing that I want to add is you have to have a discipline, and also in today's world, make sure that you read. Even if your parents can't read, make sure that you read everything that comes through the email, everything that comes in a packet that says SC, read it. Because a lot of students are not getting into college because they're missing deadlines. Or their deadlines, right?
Or even the speaking in Spanish at home, reading the newspapers, watching the Spanish TV. These students are able to take the AP Spanish language exam in 10th or 11th grade, and right away they get college credit for it. You know, so what can parents do? Have that piggy bank. You're putting money in here, this is for college.
Right.
Okay? You want to be a ballerina, you have to go to college. You want to be a fireman, you have to go to college. Tell them that from preschool, and tell them that every day.
Absolutely.
College is almost like what high school used to be for us. You know, and I'm older than most people in the field of education today.
My mom used to say, your only job is to go to school
That's
and
it.
do it really, really well.
Yep. And that's
And I'll
really
feed you.
what we
Yeah,
want
exactly.
our parents
My
to
job
know.
is to go earn money so that you can have a roof over your head, but your job is to go to school.
And you're thinking about Isabel.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about, we just had that conversation last night. She's 3 years old and she goes to preschool now. We were having dinner and we take turns, how was your day? And all we ever ask her is like, how was school? And so it's interesting how she actually develops a vocabulary about how was school? What is your homework? What are you working on? And what do you want to get out of it?
Right.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that kind of conversation is the conversation we want all parents
That's
to be
right.
having with their children. And it's interesting, you know what some families tell us after they go through courses like the ones you have at Monroe, and they go through these classes and start really thinking it is possible to get our kids to college. I mean, that's a reality. They begin to put together the dream they have for their children with the steps that it will take to get there.
Absolutely.
And they tell us, one of the things they tell us first is that the conversation at the dinner table changes from, you know, did you behave in school today, to what did you do? What did you learn? How much closer are you to achieving your goal? So it changes radically, yes.
It does, and then the kid feels, you know, I'm doing all this work and doing this application and doing the scholarship application, meeting with the reps. My mom is going to school for me. My mom, my dad, bringing the little baby sister, little baby brother, and finding out about college. I had parents asking great questions. Why isn't my kid in honors class? Why is you're saying honors and AP classes? My kid is not in that. Does she need to be? Does he need to be? So they're asking those questions. We have to give parents a chance to do that, and the school is a great way. Yes, we do care about your kids, and when they do come to school, we take care of them. But we want you to be part of that, not be alienated from it.
All right, and then with that, I think, you know, the time has come again. We could go on talking about this
yes.
forever, but thank you for joining
Thank
us,
you.
okay?
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for joining us on Families Matter. And please visit our family websites, families.lausd.net and parentaccess.lausd.net. Remember that your involvement makes all the difference. We'll see you next month. And remember, families really, really matter. Thank you.